Good evening, almost morning. By the time this is about to um, air. So I just finished watching Masters of the Universe, and yes, I'm a little behind on this movie, but better late than never, right? Better late than never. Um, okay, so honest review, honest rating, as I try to normally do. Um, So, those, if you grew up in the 80s, you are very familiar with this show, which was called He Man. Um, but this is the second adaptation of a movie. The first time was in the 80s, I believe. I think it was same title, but you know, during that time period, didn't really have a lot of CGI and whatnot to work with, so a lot of things were practical effects. So this time around, we actually have CGI, which is probably 90 um, percent usage, if not 99%. Um, eh, I'm trying to really see how do I feel about this movie because as for the fact that the show was very cheesy growing up, I was hoping for a little bit more cheesiness because it's a movie not to be taken seriously, you know. But I think they were trying to go for a serious tone as well as cheesiness, and I don't know if it really worked out. I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it, but I'm just like it just didn't hit well for me. There's things that like okay, not bad, but then there's things like eh. Um, so if you've already watched this movie, then you already know what happens and all that shit. But if you haven't, then well, let me tell you. So, um, Adam, he's like Prince Adam. He's it starts out as a kid, and he and his family are being kind of like, well, let's just say Gray Skull, that is being taken over or being tried to take over by Skeletor and his group of, I don't know what you want to call them, minions. Um, and he holds his father captive while looks like trying to kill his mother, and he thinks that both his parents are dead. So, um, let's see, what is her name in here? The sorceress opens up like a portal to Earth, and she's telling him to hold the sword because that is what Skeletor wants, and you will never lose your sense of home as long as you hold it. Well, apparently he lost the sword, and then 15 years later, he's still stuck on Earth. He can't seem to shake the image out of his head um, of the sword and his family and all that stuff of like where he came from. And then people think he's just fucking nuts and uh, don't buy anything that he's saying until he keeps like searching online, asking people, "Hey, have you seen this sword? Looking for this sword." And apparently, someone has found it. It's like in one of those kind of like comic book stores, and he steals it, and somehow Tila finds him, which was his friend growing up, and one of Skeletor's minions is also finds the sword, but of course Adam is the one who has it, and then goes back to the planet that they're from, and yeah, um, it it's just it. I don't know. It's so bizarre, just the fact that he's being sent to Earth, and I'm just like he couldn't have been held anywhere else. Like no one could have like protected him. I don't know. The whole Earth thing just didn't make any sense to me. And then it's like Earth isn't even a big, like a huge scene in the movie, which is, I guess, a good thing. But when getting back to his planet where he's from, he's not sure how to wield the power until the sorceress like speaking to him, saying, you just got to say the words, and then he does, and he becomes He-Man, which then at the end of the movie they don't say the names that they're known for until the end of the movie, like He-Man or Warrior Princess and whatever else that the names are known for. Um, it's just yeah. And then the cat, I think, is seen twice throughout the whole movie. But I'm wondering if this continues to get like a sequel, because they do show what's the little creature's name? See, now I have to look it up. I'm going blank on names. Hold on, sorry. Okay, so I was right about the 80s film that was in 87. And coincidentally, Dolph Lundgren, who played He-Man in the 80s version, made an appearance in this movie, by the way. Um, let's see. Why can't I find this creature? It's a little flying thing that you don't see his whole face, and I'm going blank on his name. It's something with an O. Um, I'm gonna find it here. Like, where is it at? Um, 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 um. The crazy thing is, the um, animated show came out in '83, while I was only 1 years old. So I was probably um, watching it on reruns with my brother because he was very familiar with it. Orko, that's his name. So they show him, the creature, in a post-credit scene. So with that being said, I am curious um, if there is a sequel, if he will be if he'll be featured in a movie, if that's if that's the case. But anyway, I'm sorry, that was a long pause in trying to find what I was looking for. So, okay, so the cast of like the characters, we got Nicholas Galazine playing Adam. Um, I'm familiar with him playing um what is the movie? It is Red, White, and Royal Blue, which was a Prime movie. The idea of you with Anne Hathaway and that's it. That's all that I know him from. While Camila Mendez plays Tila, I know her from Riverdale. I like Camila. I think she's adorable. Idris Elba, which I think is a phenomenal actor, he plays Duncan, which is Tila's father. Jared Leto, out of all the people in the world, plays Skeletor, and which, by the way, this probably might be the only character so far that I've known him to actually do a decent job. It's kind of sad. It's a little sad. Um, Not familiar with this actor, but Johannes plays Fisto, and they do some jokes with Fisto, if you can only imagine, as well as Ram Man. John Zhang plays him, the character that is. Alison Brie, Evil Lynn. She is so funny to me. Um, Sam C. Wilson plays Trapjaw. Charlotte Riley, Queen Marilyn. James Purefoy plays King Randor. While Morena, sorry, plays the sorceress. Krista Wiig is the voice of Roboto. Um, is there anybody else? And yeah, like I said, Dolph Lundgren makes an appearance just as like a macho man. But yeah, overall, it's like a mid movie for me. Um, but it seems like people ended up liking this movie. Let's see what the people are saying. This one is an 8 out of 10. Fun, faithful, and campy. A love letter to the 80s kids that almost sticks the landing. It says almost. Masters of the Universe is a love letter to every kid who owned the toys and stayed up for the Saturday morning cartoons, and it mostly knows exactly what it's doing. Excuse me. Travis Knight delivers a bright, action packed adventure that respects the source material's campiness without being cynical about it. The production design nails the 80s aesthetic. The action sequences are genuinely fun, and Daniel Pemberton's synth score hits perfectly. Even the jokes land. Ram Man and Fisto never stood a chance. Told you. Nicholas isn't the bulky He-Man you'd ideally cast, but once the sword comes out and the fights begin, his physical shortcomings fade into the background. Jared Leto and Alison Brie still scenes as delightfully hammy villains, and Dolph Lundgren cameo is a nice touch. The real problem is the final 20 minutes. What should have been a straightforward, crowd pleasing climax gets the muddled and loses narrative focus. It's a frustrating stumble at the finish line. Still, for anyone who grew up with these characters, this is a mandatory viewing. 7.5 out of 10. Okay, so I don't get why somebody puts an 8 out of 10 when it's a 7.5, they say. I don't get that. Anyway, moving on. Um, this one gives it a 7 out of 10. Flawed, but fun. The score is fantastic and the soundtrack is excellent. The visuals are near perfect apart from a few clunky CGI moments. I'd agree with that. The acting is very good from all involved. The premiere. Come on, Josh, let's read. The premise is good, but the plot could have been a tad more substantial. The casting is pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. It ticks all the nostalgia boxes. MVP Skeletor. I think a lot of people are shocked that Skeletor, because of Jared Leto, was good. This one gives it an 8. A really nice reboot. I grew up with He-Man as a kid, had a sword made of wood, and loved the old movie until today. I was not expecting much, but the reboot really went well. A nice split between old school and new school was sticking nicely to the comics. I hope they make one with Hordak and also Orko. Gives me also hope for other franchises. Another 8. It starts a little slow, and some of the humor is catered more towards young adults. However, if you played with the figures, vehicles, and towers when you were a kid, you really enjoy this film. The action is spot on. All the actors were definitely on board, and you could tell they had fun making it together. Okay, last but not least, 8 out of 10. Having music this good is cheating. I have absolutely no background with the source material. I was hesitant to watch this in theaters. I would have kicked myself if I didn't. This is the type of movie you should see on the biggest screen with the loudest speakers. I have to gush about the music score. It's amazing, instant goosebumps. It makes every scene better. I will add it to my playlist and listen to it repeatedly. I love it. It's also a visually mesmerizing. So many beautiful shots. Excuse me. And the action scenes are beastly. It's fast paced but completely clear. No shaky cam or quick cuts. Lots of creative moments that make you want to cheer. Those Three Kings, amazing music, beautiful images, and beastly action. All I really need. Excelling in those categories makes flaws easily forgivable, and there are some flaws. Half of the comedic attempts didn't work for me. There and there seemed to be too many attempts, even in serious moments like what we see in the MCU, and some of the dialogue is clunky. I don't care. I had a blast with this movie, and hopefully that they make a sequel. I will be there opening night. Um, okay. So yeah, I think I'd give this a let's see, what would I give this movie? Between a 6.5 and a 7. Because it's not perfect by any means. um let's stick with a 7. I give it a 7. Bless me. Thank you, sorry. Yeah, anyway, so that is my review. That is my rating. Um, but yeah, if you had seen this movie, let me know what you think about it. If you plan on seeing it, also let me know. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. I need to get to bed. I got work tomorrow. And see you next time. All right, bye. Mwah.